Do you want to learn 3 of my favorite keto camping recipes?
Hey y'all, I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Lisa. The kids are all grown up and now it's our turn to have fun. So now you'll find us camping.
Yes, you will.
Keto camping recipe 3. This one has a bonus recipe at the end. This is gonna be keto pigs in a blanket. So we're gonna make Fathead Dough again. This recipe is just a little bit different. And then we're gonna use our hot dogs. This recipe does not call to put the cheese in by itself. It calls for you to put the cheese and the dry ingredients all in together and then microwave it. So we're gonna toss that up a little bit and then we're gonna go on back over to the microwave and start microwaving at 30-second intervals. Again, the same thing. The first 30 seconds, things start to get a little soft, but nothing's really melting yet. Now it's starting to melt. Do you like pigs in a blanket? Do your kids like pigs in a blanket?
How's it look?
Nice and melty. And since we cooked it all together, we don't have to knead it so much like we did the last one. Jimmy's not really a big hot dog eater. I like hot dogs, but again, I do miss my bread. So I hate eating just a plain old hot dog. So this is a treat for me. Do you mind skipping the buns if you eat keto? For some reason, I don't mind skipping the bun on a hamburger, but for me, a hot dog needs bread around it. So we're gonna take this out and knead it just a little bit, and then we're gonna roll it out between these 2 pieces of parchment paper. As you can see, this one's not as sticky as the last one, and the ingredients are a little different. I will, by the way, post the recipe for all of these things that we're making today at the bottom of the page with our Amazon link for any or all the ingredients that you might need. I'm going to separate this dough in half for right now just because I'm working on this cutting board and I don't know how much room I'm going to need. So between 2 pieces of parchment paper, I'm gonna use my mini rolling pin today because you guessed it, my real one's in the camper from the last time we went camping, and our camper had to go to shop, so I can't even go out and get it. So we're just gonna make do with what we've got. You wanna try to roll this into a rectangle, and you want it, I'm gonna say, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. Did I say triangle? You want to roll it into a rectangle. I'm not sure what I said.
I think you said circle.
I didn't say circle. Now we're going to give it a shot. We're going to peel the parchment paper off, set that aside. Yeah, we're going to cut them about 1 inch wide. You could also just take pieces of dough, I guess, and form them around the hot dog. I just think these look a little cooler, that's all.
It's all about the looks.
So then you're gonna take your dough, start at one end, and you're just going to roll, roll, roll. I'm only doing 4 hot dogs today. Of course you could do, I think the recipe will make 2 packs of hot dogs. So I guess that's what, 16. I think hot dogs come in packs of 8. I buy mine at Sam's in a big old box, so it's more than 8, but I think a standard pack of hot dogs comes in an 8-pack. And you guessed it, back in the air fryer, 10 to 15 minutes. I almost forgot the egg wash on our pigs in a blanket, so I just snatched them back out of the air fryer real quick, and this is just a beaten up egg that we're gonna brush on here so they get nice and pretty. So that's recipe number 3, pigs in a blanket, keto style. So I promised a bonus recipe, so here we go. Any leftover dough that you have from making your pigs in a blanket, you can also use to make pretzel bites. And they are so yummy. For our pretzels, my daughter wants to try making big pretzels. She's in culinary school, so she's feeling all brave. I just make the pretzel bites. They're just easier to handle. Basically, again, you're just gonna shape your dough, and since we're gonna do this with leftover dough instead of the whole recipe, you could certainly make the Fathead Dough for the pigs in a blanket and just make a bunch of pretzel bites. We chose to do some wrapped, we chose to wrap the hot dogs for some of them. So if you did the entire recipe just for pretzel bites, you divide your dough into 8 pieces. Since we've already taken some out, I'm just gonna divide mine however I see fit. And again, it's gonna be just like the bagels. You're gonna roll them out. You can put a wet paper towel under your parchment paper and it'll help hold it in place. I just forgot. And then you just cut it into little pieces. I try to form mine back when I make them, and you're gonna just put them on your paper. I have found this is a really good recipe to make the dough ahead of time and put it in the refrigerator, so it would be a great snack when you're camping one afternoon. I roll it into the rolls, wrap it in parchment paper and put it in a bag and put it in the fridge. They stay thicker when you bake them. They don't melt down as much when the dough is cold. But you certainly don't have to do it that way. You could certainly make them right now.
What do you like to dip your pretzels in? Beer cheese, mustard, or we do ours with queso sometimes now.
I really like to dip mine. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Busch Gardens, but the Busch Gardens in Williamsburg makes real pretzels, and they have a sweet mustard sauce that you can dip them in. So I found a keto honey mustard recipe that I will also share in the link. I like to make that and dip my pretzels in that. It might also be good for the pigs in a blanket when they come out. So these don't have to be any certain particular shape or size. Whatever makes you happy. Again, my daughter wants to try to roll them out and make real pretzels out of them.
They kind of look like bananas.
And you guessed it, I also put these in the air fryer too. When we're at home, sometimes I put them in the oven. The air fryer is just so much quicker and you don't have to heat the whole oven up. So that's what we do with it.
We're trying to get our culinary arts star to do a couple videos. Comment below if you guys want to try to see, help us get her out here to do some videos. She's going to school for it, so might as well put her trade to work. What do you think?
Comment below, let us know if you want Emily to do the next video.
We're calling you out, Emily. She'll be home in about 2 weeks from school, so hopefully we can get her in the kitchen.
Jimmy also sprinkles everything bagel seasoning on his sometimes.
I mean, geez, what doesn't taste good with everything seasoning?
So it's totally up to you what you like. The dough is similar, so And like he said, sometimes we make a keto cheese dip, which is basically we just melt cheese with some heavy cream, little salt, pepper, garlic, whatever you like in yours, and we dip them in that. These also heat up really well, so you can make them all today. You can either store the dough in the refrigerator and just make a few at a time, or you can make a whole batch of them and then store them in a Ziploc bag and heat them back up in the air fryer so they're crispy again the second day. So we're just gonna sprinkle a little salt on the top of these pretzel bites, and then we're gonna pop them in, you guessed it, the air fryer at 400 for about 10 minutes. Still too hot to handle right now, so
Let me try. Hold on.
we'll sit them here to cool. They are a little dark because I got sidetracked doing something else, but they still taste good, I'm sure. That's your bonus recipe.